Hey, it's Melanie Petro. Back on my podcast. Somebody told me they couldn't hear it, and so I stopped. I tried to figure out what it was, and I couldn't, but I think I have, so y'all let me know if you can't hear it. And I had a day. I had a day of listening to the sweetest women tell me stories of how a physician told them some things that I'm not sure how they could believe. But I think sometimes as a physician, you forget that it's so easy to believe people, whether they're your doctor, your boyfriend, your child. You know, when people tell you something, as humans, we tend to believe them. They look at us and they tell us this will work, and we think, thank you. Thank you for telling me. And what a beautiful quality that is. And how do we preserve it? Because that's really important to me. Because I don't think we'll ever stop people from being dishonest, from telling us things that aren't true. But one by one, as we shed light on what is true, I think less and less of us will believe everyone and will feel empowered. Especially, there's something different about a male-female relationship. As women, especially growing up in Mississippi, if a grown-up man tells us something, we tend to just, especially add a white coat to it, we tend to believe them. And we feel like even if we don't, it must be us. So that's where confidence comes in. But this sweet lady had CoolSculpting, which is a fabulous, fabulous procedure. I have 3 machines. We run them all day. I've had it. My sister's had it. Sorry, sis. My dad's had it. It's something I would put on anyone but my dog. And that's because my dog's perfect. But there's no one in my family or in my life that I wouldn't trust with this. It is a procedure that you have to learn. You go to CoolSculpting University. They spend a lot of time teaching you. You take pictures. I put my hands on everyone and decide the placement because there's an art. There's an art to anything that involves the body because there's so many angles and there are so many things to consider when there are that many angles involved in anything. It's just not one dimension. And this lady had CoolSculpting, and they told her it would get rid of her double chin, and they put it there, and then afterwards, she wasn't happy, and she felt like she looked worse. She went back, and they told her that she actually looked better. Like we don't know how we look. Let me tell you something about women. We know our faces from every angle. I'm literally amazed every day when someone comes in and tells me something about their face. Because for the most part, no matter what a tiny little thing it is, we know our faces. But she wasn't better. And so they put it right in the middle, so then she kind of had those 2 things on the end, which was the main reason she went in, kind of hanging off. And it's okay. We're not perfect. Physicians aren't perfect. No one's perfect. It's okay to say, that didn't turn out quite like I want it. I see what you mean. At least acknowledge it. You have to see it, don't you? And then, I don't know, it's just like when you see something in a profession you love and you see people with power, or even if it's just power they claim themselves to make someone feel bad, you realize how incredibly emotional your appearance is, whether you're 15, 50, 80. How you look is emotional. And especially as you age, or if someone makes fun of something because it's something you're not used to seeing. I mean, you get used to your face. No one wants to look like someone else. You just don't want to look miserable, unhappy, bewildered, and depressed. I think that's a Little Mermaid song. You just want to look like you did. And when you feel like you don't, you think, what happened? So then you go to someone all dressed up, maybe in a white coat, and they tell you this will fix it, and you believe them, and then it's worse. It's like, as women, there is a tendency to feel like it's your fault, and it's not. Now, unfortunately, once you've had that, really it requires at least a mini facelift to pull the skin back up, because there isn't much you can do on the sides. And that'll correct it, and it'll look great. But there's all those hours and all those days where this human, woke up with kids to take care of, and a husband, and chores to do, and baseball games, who felt so self-conscious about something that she went and spent a lot of money trying to fix it, and then she felt even more self-conscious after she fixed it, and just felt stupid because she believed somebody. And then add to that a feeling of, that feeling. I think it's the worst one in the world, when you feel deceived. And really deceived. And just unheard, because you're like, I don't like this. And they're like, I don't see it. And then you start to think you're crazy, unless you have the confidence to know that you're not. And I think that's where education comes in, and having people tell you what something can do and what something can't do, so that you're empowered, because knowledge is power, and there is nothing more powerful than knowledge. Nothing. So I had someone else with the same type situation, but cool sculpting it basically freezes tissue, and it's great. So there it is, it's frozen. It kind of looks like a stick of butter, and you have to massage it out. You're basically massaging ice crystals, and as you massage them, you're helping spread the ice so that you get a smoother result. And massage is really important. It's a huge part of cool sculpting. Tissue Desires has, I call her big hands, but she has these really big hands, and I swear that's what makes her so good. And she's strong, and it really takes someone strong to do the massage, because breaking up those crystals is a huge part of what gives you a smooth result. So she was told that you don't need the massage. Doesn't count. You don't need it. We're not going to do it. We're just going to rub this wand over you. Wouldn't it be great if that were true? And they rubbed it, and she can't tell a difference. And so she goes away not only not believing in those physicians, but also just not believing in cool sculpting. Not believing in a procedure that actually is, it's amazing. It works. And she sees Deborah Messing and all these stars talking about it, and she's thinking, but it doesn't work. So it's such a global level of disappointment to feel like the whole world's lying to you. It's one thing when it's just one person. That's bad enough. But that global feeling of deceit is worse. And I think that's what really spurs me to share, is I know that I can't go around with these clapping hands. Like when people say, you're on candid camera. I really want to do that with a bus and those clappers. To everyone that ever tells a lie, Liar Liar, it's one of my favorite movies because of that bathroom scene. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, where he's in the bathroom and he tells a lie and it's like boom, boom, boom. I dream that'll happen someday, because I dislike deceit more than anything in the world. And I think it's especially true with women, because gosh, there's no one more selfless than a woman. There's just no one that would give more of herself to anyone else than a woman. And believe in people. We believe. in everybody. I mean, it's really quite amazing when you think about it. Think of all the people you believe in a day. Well, don't, because you got to believe in something. But you also need to have those moments of clarity and those people that you can count on to tell you the truth. And I am so fortunate to have ended up in facial plastic surgery because there's so many places where this comes into play. And it is incredibly important to me, not just to love what I do, but to spread knowledge that helps keep people from falling for things. I'm not a good judge of men, so unfortunately I cannot help you there, but I listen to Dr. Laura all the time. I absolutely love her. And I do love beauty, and I love faces. And so no matter what I'm doing, I'm always looking at something or looking at someone and reading something and studying procedures and thinking of different ways to do things. And it's just how I'm wired, and it's what I live for. It's what I wake up for. So to be able to share that is my way of helping protect women, because I think men can handle themselves for the most part. I mean, they're pretty, they don't seem to, they come in and say, I know I don't need CoolSculpting, but, and you're like, okay, you do. But women come in and think they're like 1,000 times worse. But it's just usually those little areas. And it's never like, I want to look like I'm 18. It's, I can't wear my pants, or this comes out of my bra. I mean, it's, usually just very small things that are just almost impossible to get rid of no matter how you diet and exercise. And those are the little things that CoolSculpting brings into play. And when it's done well, it's great. And that's why I guess it's so incredibly frustrating when you see it not done well. And usually it's even more frustrating when it's just out of sheer laziness. I mean, there is no reason not to massage. What if it doesn't work? What if you think it's going to work just as well not to? We'll do it anyway because it's not going to hurt. It just seemed like sheer laziness. And I think that, it's like you're just doing it and you don't care about how it is or how it looks or that someone's happy. And if you don't care about those things, what a terrible waste, I mean, find something you do care about or be in another profession. Don't be in this one, because this is such a special, special niche. Because I see them at every age, but they're self-conscious of something. And if you can tweak that in an honest way, and if you can't do it and it's not something that's possible, or you don't feel like it's the right thing, those are probably the most appreciative patients of all. I mean, and there are plenty of times when things aren't something that you think or that I think should be done or that I could do. Not many, because really, for the most part, y'all know what you need when you walk in. But being able to tweak those little things can give you a level of confidence to do things that maybe you wouldn't do. But it's a very intimate relationship. I mean, I get talked about, and sometimes to my face, which is great. Go ahead. About sharing my life on social media and my personal life, which I don't know what kind of person. I mean, it's me and Gabe and Grant, but I guess I don't even have much to say, but I guess I do. And some people think that's wrong. I think it's wrong not to, because what's more personal than how you feel about how you look? And who do you need to know better than someone you're going to go in and trust with something that you have no way of really validating? I mean, it's not like there's a blood test to tell if your thyroid medicine is working. You can't go take your blood pressure to see if they gave you the right medicine. There's no validation for it. It's something you really step out there and you ask someone to help you fix something that's not necessarily broken. It's just not quite how you want it. I think that's a very humbling thing to do. And it's embarrassing. And it's something you just wouldn't want to do to a total stranger. So I think it's not only something I enjoy because I've been through a lot in some ways, and I feel very passionate about this field. So I think it's my calling to share it. But I also think that relationships are two-way. Whether it's a doctor-patient relationship, no matter what it is, it should go both ways. And so many of them don't. Shouldn't this one? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to someone that didn't look at me and didn't interact with me. Like, who someone is affects everything about what they tell you. It affects everything about what they do. I mean, there's something in what we do every day. It's our character. And of course you want to know that someone's board certified, that someone's had excellent training and has the credentials. But beyond that, you want to know that they care. I mean, you want to know who they are. And why shouldn't you? Because you're going to go in, and if it's good, and if it's the kind of relationship that you want to have for a lifetime, you're going to share with them where you are, how you feel, what's going on in your life, if you have any big events coming up. And because that's kind of how we plan. So I think they're all wrong. I think that sharing my life and then you sharing yours is only fair. And I think that it is okay to judge people from every which way around, because all those little things that you see about people are who they really are. And at some point you're going to find out if you have a meaningful relationship. And I can't think of any relationship that bears more consideration than someone you're going to trust with your face. Because again, it's a really emotional thing, and it can be a beautiful thing. And seeing someone really happy with how they look, not because they look different, but because they look like themselves before something stressful happened, and they felt really old, they feel aged. That's what it's really about. It's about helping people get back to themselves. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm honored and so happy to be in this profession. And I will help dispel any myth and every myth. If you ever have a question, feel free to email me. It's Dr. Petro at petromd.com. No matter where you live, I'm always happy to answer and help you any way I can so that you can live your best life and feel and look the way you should, the way you deserve to. I hope you'll have a great Friday night.